Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another Instant Deck Tech. So as you probably know by now, Monday means it's Modern Monday here in Instant Deck Tech Land, and we have a super sweet, amazingly fast list to check out today. This is all in Vizier Druid combo, and we've seen Vizier of Remedies, Devoted Druid combo decks before, but this one is super unique. It cuts out all the value cards, all the slow cards, all the cards that let the deck play real magic if it's not going infinite, and mashes in a ton of things to make the deck as fast as possible, as consistently as possible. So we're looking to go infinite on turn 2 as often as possible, maybe turn 3 with a bad draw. So that's the plan of the deck. So it comes to us from Masugan, who took it to a 5-0 finish in a competitive league on Magic Online. So congrats to Masugan on a super sweet deck. A quick reminder before we break down all in Vizier Druid for Modern. If you enjoy this deck and you want to see it made into videos, take a minute, click the like button, the subscribe button, leave a comment, anything you can do to support your deck, because whichever deck is most popular gets a shot at being made into videos next week. So, Vizier Druid combo, the name comes from Vizier of Remedies and Devoted Druid, and you probably know what this one does. I think we've talked about it before when the cards first came out in some deck techs and other things, but basically, Devoted Druid goes infinite in mana with a Vizier on the battlefield. We tap it for a mana, then when we untap it by putting a -1/-1 counter on it, we don't actually get the -1/-1 counter because of Vizier of Remedies, which creates this Devoted Druid that can just tap and untap itself any number of times. So we make an infinite amount of green mana. This is pretty typical Vizier Druid stuff. We see this in the Abzan Company decks now. It's kind of a well-known combo at this point, gaining some legs in Modern. And our payoffs actually are the same as those other decks as well. We have one Duskwatch Recruiter, which we find it, we can activate it an infinite number of times with our infinite mana from the combo, which eventually, as we go through our entire deck, will find us our Walking Ballista, and then we can cast an infinitely big Walking Ballista. Let's say X40, X50, whatever our opponent's life total is, X equal to that or greater than that. And then we just ping our opponent to death, 1 point of damage at a time. Ping, 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 ping. Eventually our opponent dies. So this is what we're trying to set up. And like I said, this is typical Vizier Druid combo stuff. However, the rest of the deck is way, way, way different than what you've probably seen before in Abzan Company and stuff like that. So instead of building a real deck that just happens to sometime combo off, this deck is all in on the combo. And step 1 of going all in on the combo is essentially reducing the deck size. We have a ton of cards that cantrip either for free or for a very cheap cost, which makes our deck smaller really. If we have a Street Wraith in our hand, it's just a free card, so having a playset of Street Wraith essentially makes our 60 card deck a 56 card deck. And then you throw in Mishra's Bauble, which, yeah, the draw is a bit delayed, we gotta wait till the next upkeep, but it kind of brings the number of cards in the deck down to 52. And then we have a Conjurer's Bauble, not exactly free. We do lose 1 mana in this exchange, but it's worth it because it's a good backup if something goes wrong when we cast our Walking Ballista. Let's say our opponent mana leaks our Walking Ballista. Maybe that's not a good example because we have infinite mana, but they counter our Walking Ballista. We can use Conjurer's Bauble to put it back on the bottom of our deck, and then we just activate our Duskwatch Recruiter a bunch more times. Eventually we go through our whole deck, we find the Walking Ballista again, we cast it again. That time we should be able to win the game. So this cuts cards out of our deck, along with Manamorphose and Unbridled Growth, which again are really cheap or free ways that allow us to draw a card and just cut down the number of cards in our deck. So if you count all these up together, it's like our deck has 45 cards in it because we have so many cheap or free cantrips. Manamorphose and Unbridled Growth also help fix our mana. We are playing very, very, very few lands in this deck, so being able to turn some of our mana into other colors of mana is actually a really helpful thing to do. The other thing that these cards do, along with Wild Canter, just a one-of to give us a little bit extra mana can help us accelerate into our combo is they support some of our tutors, which are key to the deck. So as far as finding our combo pieces, we actually have 16 different cards that do that. Oath of Nissa, just kind of the green ponder. We just cast it for 1 mana. We can use it to find either of our combo pieces. Commune with Nature lets us dig 5 card deeps to find a creature for just 1 mana. And then Summoner's Pact and Traverse just search out our creatures directly. Yeah, Summoner's Pact has a downside. We got to pay 4 mana or we're going to lose the game. We can either pay for that with our infinite combo mana or just plan on winning the game right away, and then there's no drawback to our free Summoner's Pact. And Traverse is the other reason we have all those Street Race and Mishra's Baubles and Manamorphoses and Unbridled Growths. They're all cards of different types to get in the graveyard to make sure we have Delirium to turn Traverse into a tutor for our combo pieces. Finally, moving on to the lands, there's one land that's super important, and that is Hall of the Bandit Lord. So Hall of the Bandit Lord looks a little janky, comes into play tapped. You can pay 3 life to get 1 colorless mana, but if you use that mana to cast a creature spell, that creature gains haste. Kind of a commander's table, doesn't usually see play in Modern or any constructed formats. The problem with the Devoted Druid Vizier combo is it doesn't work if our Devoted Druid is summoning sick. So let's say we play Vizier on turn 2. On turn 3, we play Devoted Druid. We can't combo off right away because we don't have an unsummoning sick Devoted Druid. We can't tap it for mana, but if we cast a Devoted Druid with Hall of the Bandit Lord mana, we can just start comboing off immediately thanks to the haste it gives us, which gives us a lot more explosion, and it kind of makes the combo work like Splinter Twin, where it feels like you're comboing off with haste. You flash in something at the end step, untap, win the game. This kind of lets us combo off in a similar way by giving our Devoted Druid haste. Rest of the mana base, Horizon Canopy, a little more card draw, some fetches, some shocks, 1 basic land, 14 lands in total, so about as low as you can possibly go. But again, our deck is only, 45 cards we decided, thanks to all those free and cheap cantrips, so we can get by with only 14 lands. The sideboard is interesting. We have a bunch of creatures we can tutor up with our Traverse, with our Summoner's Pact. Murian Crusader and Mystic Enforcer are great against Death Shadow decks, any type of black decks. They have protection from those colors, fast clocks to close out the game. Kusali Ambush comes down for free, has reach to deal with Delvers and other flying threats, and Rex Age to deal with artifacts and enchantments, and then just a playset of Path to Exile. Not much interaction or any interaction in the main deck, but a bit in the sideboard in case we run into creatures we really need to deal with. And that is all in Vizier Druid combo for Modern. And that's our instant deck tech for today, so thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.